Not gonna spoil anything, but I really like the ending in this game. You spoiled it! That this game actually has an ending! You spoiled that. I thought this was a never-ending game. I'm not gonna play this anymore. Hey there, Sonic. Oh. No, I mean, it's sad to see that Sonic doesn't have the spider face anymore. Because he ran out of the gift sub. And also, seriously, where's the sound? Thought I heard something. There is music, but it's really quiet. I wonder if it will fix itself. While going from room to room. Hey there, Goblin! Hello, Hartsa. Hyvää iltaa. I mean, seriously, I'm sure you guys can't hear the music at all. I can barely hear it myself. Let's see if I could go into the room and... Some rooms do have different music, right? That fixed it. Now there's a freaking sound. I mean, I heard the music, but it was like... I barely could hear it. It was like... So quiet that I could... It's still really quiet. Why the hell is it so quiet in this room? So we saw some raunchy stuff happening. We met with Miklos and she went through the secret passageway here. Koska museo, sen takia se on hiljainen. Se on kirjasto, missä pitää olla hiljaa. Museossa saa pitää metteliä, mutta kirjastoissa pitää olla hiljaa. Tunnin tänään kokeiltu Sonic the Hedgehogia Steamista ja se on vaikea kyllä. Eikö sä ennen pelannut Sonic? Yes. I will miss the drunk socialite walk when you're done with the game. I don't think she walks like a drunk. Although that walk cycle is pretty weird. Säkö näitä retropelejä pelailet, niin ootko pelannut sellaista SNES-peliä kuin Secret of Mana? On. En ole läpi, mutta mä pelasin sitä kyllä pitkälle. Oon pelannut Secret of Mana. Oon pelannut ainoastaan Sonic 3 PC:llä kerran, mutta en sitäkään päässyt läpi koskaan. No. Your name is Sonic Moise, and you've never played any other Sonic game but Sonic 3 on the PC. Interesting. But then again, some people take their names from stuff they have never seen or just heard about, or not even from games and never played. She walks like someone from either Larry or Police Quest. Can't remember who, though. Well, if it was from any Larry game, it would be Passionate Patty. She's the only woman that I know, because you play as Passionate Patty for a while in Leisure Suit Larry 3. So what exactly? I can hear the music, but can you guys hear the music?
Ah, my hair!
So, who died this time? No music but a scream. There was music. It was just very quiet first. Even my phone is like, ah! Shut up, phone! Ah, my tablet might arrive tomorrow. Got a message of that. Cool. Gonna be awesome, gonna be great, gonna be fun, gonna be... something. But yeah, I ordered myself a tablet on Saturday, so it might arrive tomorrow. So, what did you guys say? Police Quest 2 is a... I don't like the Police Quest games myself. Harsa's saying that it's a good game, but... So where's Spidey? Goblin, I'm here already. Somebody tell Goblin to refresh if he's seeing something else. Twitch is just being a twit today. I've seen the anime series, there I pick up my name. I should change it, but I'm happy with it now. Well, you just be happy with your name. If you're happy with it, be happy with it. No need to change it. Corpse is wearing a black tuxedo jacket. At the moment, it's a poor fit, especially around the neck. Oh, they're missing their head. In many of the early Sierra games were parser games, so you had to write what to do. I enjoy casually identifying as a pony, but don't even watch the show. I learned my pony obsession straight from internet culture and art websites, so I can relate. Ah, okay. Yeah, it wasn't just, is Goblin now here? Can he hear me? Can he see me? Yeah, Twitch is just being a derp right now. I started live streaming, but for some reason, even though I was live, it was still showing the person that I was, it was showing Zero Line that I was hosting. I don't know why, even though I was online. I even looked at my Twitch, I even looked at the Twitch, dashboard, and it was showing that yes, I am currently live, but it wasn't showing it. It was just showing Zero Line who I was hosting. It's supposed to exit host mode immediately as I start a stream. Ironic, after untold millions of years, this pterodactyl has claimed a new victim, a male specimen of Homo sapiens, which has been pinned to the floor by the pterodactyl's monstrous beak. The left arm and hand are splayed out to the side. A quick glance reveals nothing grasping the hand or up the sleeve. The right hand of this unfortunate soul is flung out to the side. A large pool of blood has formed around the corpse. It has barely begun to congeal, indicating the incident must have had taken place within the past few minutes. This is one of the 3 wires that formerly suspended the pterodactyl from the ceiling, giving it the appearance of soaring high above the floor. This is one of the 3 wires that formerly suspended the pterodactyl from the ceiling. This is one of the... Carefully examine the dangling end of the wire. It's a clean cut, indicating that somebody deliberately sliced through the cable from the catwalks up high above. You find a large grease stain on the right sleeve. You give it a quick whiff and identify the scent as turkey hors d'oeuvres. Search the left arm for clues, but come up empty-handed. Arm. Hand. The blood has begun to clot, darkening and thickening. It's difficult to judge whether or not this blood is primarily from the neck wound or the point where the pterodactyl's beak impaled the body. And also turkey odor, so this could be Dr. Smith. Or both. Careful observation reveals that this is a rented tuxedo, bearing the marks of repeated alterations. There's a stain above one pocket. A whiff reveals a strong, fresh scent of champagne. Don't cross the streams! Apparently they were crossed, and Twitch is now a ghost. I thought it was a bit weird, as it's not normally like you to be late. You're always punctual. Tutor DX, thank you for the host. Hey, Spooky! Though it hardly seems appropriate, you marvel at the intricacy of the construction. Pterodactyl has been covered with authentic animal hide of some sort, stretched over a rigid framework. There's nothing suspicious about it, however. You examine the free end of the wire. It's been clipped clean with a slight bend a centimeter or 2 beneath the cut end. This was no accident. This is one of the 3 wires that did less than satisfactory job of keeping the pterodactyl suspended over the museum floor near the overhead catwalk. You yank on the wire. It's very strong and firmly attached to the pterodactyl. What else is there to look at? Upon close inspection, you find the flesh around the beak contused and purplish, which is normal for this sort of wound. A few tuxedo threads are stuck in the wound. You prod gently at the wound, looking for any clues at all. Other than coaxing out a small rivulet of blood from the injured flesh, you accomplish nothing. Right hand and arm bend easily. Rigor mortis has not had a chance to set in. You move the arm and it flexes easily. Rigor mortis has not yet set in. The pants are damp and you're getting much too personal, or excuse me. Close inspection reveals that these rented tuxedo pants have been altered many times. There's a small mustard stain on one leg. Wait a minute, the only one who had a rented tuxedo was Steve. So this is Steve. Great. No more love life for Laura. Hello, Spider Holmes and Gab, and I don't mean old school actor John. Yeah, not John Holmes, you mean Sherlock Holmes, of course. Hello, terve sarudaki, terve morso. You search the pockets and find nothing but the usual lint. You decline to take the jacket with you, since it apparently contains no clues and is secured to the floor anyway. Pterodactyl is cold and lifeless, which is not unusual since it's been dead for a million of years. You don't suspect it died from foul play, but you never know. You give the wire a pull, but it's firmly rooted to the pterodactyl skeleton. Other people are just walking around normally as if nothing has happened. Bonjour, Monsieur. How are you enjoying the museum this evening? There's a corpse right behind you. No reaction to the corpse? Of any kind? I find it very stimulating. You be careful working around this place with the murderer loose. Stay near the Detective OReilly or Monsieur Heimlich. Thanks, but I can take care of myself. But you'll keep saying that until the murderer kills you. Please be careful. You seem like a very nice young woman. I would hate to see the bad things that happen to you. Yeah, the same goes for you, or whatever. What platform is this game for? DOS. Just purely DOS. Well, it could be, Windows, because this is the CD version, but I just turned off the speech. I don't think this was on any other platform than PC. Kappas mursu Sonicki, taas tästä alkaa tulla tapa. Kummatkin aina samassa paikassa samaan aikaan. No niin, se on mulle ja Sarudakki. Me oltiin aikaisemmin kummatkin kattelemassa retkoja ja nyt Sarudakki on kattelemassa meikäläistä. So... no comments. Good evening, Countess. Good evening, Miss Bear. I mean, seriously, these people have no reaction that there is a headless corpse skewered by a pterodactyl on the floor. Right there. I wonder where the head is. Maybe it rolled over here to the next room. Why were you checking the armor there? Yeah, he's still in there. Everybody's acting so suspiciously. But then again, that's the whole point of the game. That everybody acts suspiciously. I've got a feeling where the head might be. Let's see if I'm right. Nope, didn't fall out. I was expecting the head just to roll out from his mouth. I mean, it's a good hiding place for a head. Not today. Laura Bogo's Jurassic Park. Well, it's a museum. It's got art, it's got dinosaurs, it's got Renaissance style and medieval armory, and not to mention the whole Egyptian section. This music really reminds me of Quest for Glory 3. Because of the whole place where that was in the in a jungle place. Nobody here, nothing here. Leivillä oli joskus, että pyörittiin nuorena samoissa kengissä, nykyisin voisi korvata kengissä sanat striimeissä. Helposti. I do hang out on SpiderMwa's streams at times. I do have him on follow as well. Me too. Me too. Sonic is entertaining in his own rights. It's been fun to watch. Of course, where could the head be? I wonder. It's not as there is a... Black says that this is the missing link. Well, he's hardly missing if he's right here on the wall. French Canadians, an Eskimo. I'm sure one of these heads is the missing head. Like that one over there. Kinda sticks out. As I thought, it is Smith. Oh no, that doesn't look like a life mask. We already have screams here, Grummel, no need to add them. It's the Monty Python's Flying Circus. Ziggy's head! No, not Ziggy. And there's the Wilhelm scream. Howie! Somebody do Howie scream! That's the only one missing from the screams. No. No, not no. No. We need Howie. Come on. Yeah. There we go. Since you're doing all the screams, do all of them then. Jeez. Yeah, I thought it was Smith, but that's Ziggy. Yeah. Of course, Ziggy would have rented out the tuxedo. Of course. Is it Wilhelm? Yeah, it is Wilhelm. It is the original Wilhelm scream. I actually found the original piece of the movie and I took it out myself. That is the original Wilhelm scream. Not used in other movies. Well, in today's movie, it's not a rendition of it. That's the original. Mein Gott. I didn't know that we were watching DQ. I do watch a lot of retro. Me too. It's enjoyable. I think that's why Saradak and me watch both Kilgore and then Retko. Lots of retro stuff. Ziggy Stardust? No, hell no. Ziggy was a he was a stoolie, as you would say, a snitch for the police. Now he's dead. He was also a very New Yorker, a true New Yorker, calling everybody toots and calling all the gals toots and all that. A real sleazebag. It's Ziggy's head! It's Ziggy's head! You reach out sadly toward Ziggy's severed head, then draw away. He's clearly beyond all help. Ziggy is feeling a bit under the weather right now, perhaps because he's lost his voice. And the rest of his body. In any case, he has something to say. So come on, just a little bit of something. Ah, here's Heimlich and OReilly. What is going on in here? Well, murders. I'd say you've got something explaining to do, young lady. Why are you screaming? I found Mr. Ziggy's head. Very odd how you are always finding the bodies, Miss Bow. I think we should be going back to my office and be interrogating you now. Here now, Wolf, the young lady just found a man's head. Give her a moment before you go get out your thumb screws then. Thank you, Mr. O'Reilly. Don't thank me, lass. I'm not saying you didn't kill the man. I'm just trying to restrain Mr. Heimlich's enthusiasm for his job. But I will get the results. Let me talk to her privately. Now, I realize you're just trying to help me, Wolf, but I think we can learn what we need from the lass without harming her. She could lie and you'd never know it. You Americans are too soft on your criminals. I just walked in and found his head, that's all. Well, Mr. Heimlich... I'm giving him a freaking New Orleans accent over here. But Mr. Heimlich does have his point, lass. It's a wee bit curious that you keep showing up at the murder scenes before anyone else. How do you explain that, then? Just lucky, I guess. Well, you do seem a wee bit small to be sawing off a man's head, I'll say that much. Thanks. This Fräulein could have had help. Or maybe she's very clever. Or maybe you're trying to pin the murders on her so you can find the murderer and save your job, eh? My job is quite secure here, O'Reilly. Oh, really? No. A security chief who allows burglars to steal the exhibits and then overlook several murders happening under his nose. I think twice about your security methods as I was running things here. This is hardly the place to discuss my methods here, O'Reilly. We have a suspect to interrogate. Correction. We have a murder scene to investigate. We can't talk to Glass later when she's had a chance to calm down. Thank you again, sir. Remember, it's dirty, but I'll say that much for you. One scream and you've got your head together again, so to speak. Just don't try to leave the museum. I can't leave. I'm locked in. Good. We won't have to worry about you then. Alright, Wolf. We got work to do. Let's go get the crime scene tools. Man, that marching walk. True German. Well, so now Carter is dead. Ziggy's dead. I wonder who's next. This one looks a little bit out of place. Huh. Okay. Let's keep on going then. I wonder what she has to say about Ziggy. If anything. You asked me this, Miss Bow. Yeah, have you ever been to the speakeasy? The speakeasy, it used to be the good place for all the business for me, no? Then I got this job, so I don't have to do that anymore. What kind of work did you do at the speakeasy? I was the hostess here for a while. With your appearance, you must have gotten a lot of tips. I suppose you could be calling it that. I got the very big tips. We know what kind of tips she means. Get the point. And save on now and then. Oh yeah. Yes, I want to delete. And then... No, I didn't want to say... Many suspects and everything. Fine. Hey there, Turkin. But finally, guilty is a butler. And finally, English is very broken language. that sentence is just so broken, Murzo. It's a good effort. But you did mean that the butler is the guilty one. Excuse me, Dr. Smith. Got anything to say about Carter's death?
You dare to mention his name to me? He's the blasphemous temple destroyer and tomb robber who stole the Dagger of Amon-Ra from Egypt.
Did you kill him?
Miss Woe, I am shocked that you would ask me such a thing. Amon-Ra snuffed out Pippin Carter's life as punishment for his crime, and that's all I have to say on this matter.
What about Ziggy?
You already asked me that, you silly female.
Okay, you pompous ass. Anything about the speakeasy?
My English is not good enough to speak easy, but I think it's improving.
Funny. Very funny. The Ankh Medallion? What happened to the pretty gold Ankh you were wearing at the party?
I have no idea. I seem to have lost it.
Yeah, very suspicious that he would suddenly lose it. What about the hieroglyphs?
Hieroglyphs are the ultimate form of written communication. To know them is to know the power of Thoth, who created them for the people of Egypt. It is truly a language of the gods.
That's what you say. What about Egyptology?
Since you are an expert on the subject, what can you tell me about Egyptology?
The study of the ancient Egyptian history is of the greatest significance. Many of our modern religious customs originated in the ancient world. The time of the great pharaohs and of the great Egyptian gods was the peak of human civilization. Our modern society is a mere shadow of its former glory when compared to the pinnacle of human development reached by the ancient Egyptians. They knew the truth, and the truth was Amon-Ra. He led Egypt toward domination.
Aren't you exaggerating just a teensy bit?
I would not expect you to understand. You are not an Egyptian, and you are a woman.
What's that supposed to mean?
I grow tired of this topic. Speak of something else if you wish to continue our conversation.
Pompous asses. Pompous asses. Pompous asses. Well, it's the 20s. That's how it was like that back in the day. That is sexist. Welcome to the 1920s. I mean, this is based in 1926, so... The ideology of how women were treated back in the day was sexist. Very, very sexist. Women belong in the freaking... in the house, take care of the kids, make them food, and do the laundry, wash the dishes, all that. And nothing else. Make the babies. Grow the babies. I wonder why all the Egyptian characters in this game wear lipstick. Each of their own, of course. We should make that a quote. What? Which one? Tell me, Gabriel. Tell me now. I want to know. Everyone know that Egyptians were helped by the aliens. Of course they were. Pompous asses. Let's see if I can remember to do this. No. Nope. How else did they manage to build pyramids? Of course, the aliens helped them. Yep. There we go. Hey there, Mew! Ainoastaan muuten Tatumi puuttuu, niin sitten olisi koko jengi paikalla. En tiedä, mistä Tatumi on. Varmaan mennyt nukkumaan jo. Okay, guys, you're never gonna guess how I needed to get a band-aid on my finger this time. I was in class, just kind of idling around with my hands, and I sliced my finger with one of my opposite hand's nails. That can happen. With long nails, especially. Let's see, quotes. Edit that quote. Nope. And submit. So that's number 15 now. There we go. And quote 15. Pompous asses, SpiderMwa about all the men in Ulama 2, the Dagger of Amon-Ra. Jos tahtuu mennä naisiin tai kaljalle, se on sen juttu. Ei oo pakko pysyä täällä koko ilta. Let's go to the front. See if there's anything there. Did it work as an excuse to get out of class? That's a good excuse. The cat ate the homework. Me! The cat ate me. I'm dead. You're talking to a ghost right now. Let's talk to the Countess about Ziggy.
Do you know anything about the circumstances of Ziggy's death?
Ziggy? No, I'm afraid I don't know a thing about the dreadful little man.
Are you sure? You kind of stuttered there for a second. Know anything about an Ankh medallion?
Why, isn't that one of those darling little Egyptian thingies?
Oh, an Ankh is, so... let's see... Ever been to a speakeasy, lady?
Miss Berra, you must be sure to avoid such iniquity. They can only ruin a young lady's reputation.
Not to mention mental health and figure. I wasn't trying to get out of class, Grummel. Yeah. I think you can talk to the bones and dinosaurs too in this game, just for fun. Sorry, it's dead. And even if it weren't, it wouldn't tell you anything you wanted to hear. Sorry, Rex is the only talking prehistoric creature in the museum. If it could talk, it would be saying, "Come closer, soft little human, and I'll whisper something in your ear." It says nothing. Either it's long dead or it simply doesn't want to get involved. If it could talk, which it can't, it would probably be saying, "Help, I'm millions of years old and I can't get up."
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Eihän striimi toi juppakallinen homma. Ei. Ja tosi Tatumi on kyllä sen verran pelimies, että se striimaisi senkin. Well, Carrington is not around here anymore. Trouble on Two Legs by Dennis Lewis date. Yeah, we did watch all of these. Fine example of neo-quasi-Italian Renaissance sculpture by Alberto Ravioli. Sculpted in 1525, the humanoid statue is called, appropriately enough, Ruminations on Death and Dismemberment. It's one of those seeming billions of ballerinas. Oh yeah, dig up. Don't talk about him. Can I talk to these? Can I ask you anything? Can I touch them? Oh, come on. Why not? Why can I not save here? One of those moments when you just cannot save again. Why is it not allowing me to save? I don't get this. I wish there was a keeping up appearances game. I wonder how that would work. At least here I can save. And delete that one. They are talking pictures. You sound just like Hyacinth bouquet from Keeping Up Appearances. That's what I'm aiming for with the Countess's voice. That is supposed to be like Hyacinth.
The bouquet, your residence, lady of the house speaking.
As she always answered to the phone.
When you touch the painting, you smear a bit of the paint as it is still damp.
What?
How?
We're ruining everything. Don't touch the nudes.
Excuse me.
It's an extensive work of an art on display in a museum. Your father would be appalled if he knew you wanted to touch it. Overcoming your temporary insanity, you change your mind. Feels like a painting by anonymous Bosch, who was known to distinct the texture of his canvases, among other things. That shouldn't happen when you touch the paintings. They shouldn't smear at all. Do you prefer English TV series over Finnish ones? Yes, I do. Why is the big painting sparkling? Because it has a real skeleton key on it, Jace. Help, I'm millions of years old and I can't get it up. Tarttisku sanoa, että lähdetkö meille pelaa Uno Turhapuro muuttaa maalepeliä, niin mimmit käy jo kuumana. Joo, ihan varmastikin. Is this a Sierra game? Yeah, sequel to Colonel's Bequest. Yep, same character. Talking pictures? What do you think this is? The future? This is the late 20s, early 30s. There is no such thing as harumph. It's 26, so it's the 20s, late 20s. Play as Richard trying to sort out the mess that the Hyacinth causes. Well, that would work, in some ways. Hyacinth is my mother. Stop talking about her. Finnish has good TV series, but some English ones are better. Well, it depends on what kind of Finnish TV show you watch. There are some really good drama shows, but also extremely good comedy shows. There have been lots of Finnish sketch TV shows that I watched a lot. But I didn't really watch that much of the drama shows. Can't remember any that I watched that were drama shows right now. Well, next you'll be saying that there will be a way to see someone in person from an entirely different part of the world. Well, in the game Mew, they have already talked about the silent movies, that they're going to have sound in them. Because it is the year when the first sound film, The Jazz Singer, came out. 1926. Pasilla oli kyllä Greygasm. Ja, Pasilla on helvetin hieno piirretty sarja. The humor in Finnish TV series are hard to get, but Studio Julmahuvi and Pasilla are great. Studio Julmahuvi is one of my favorites. Die Kühe, mein Gott. Nein, Dummkopf, 222. I always remember the when they get the coffee and we're talking about a Finnish sketch TV show that it was like they were doing their own TV channel. And it started with news. There were like news in the middle, and then there was an announcer, and then they had like snippets of ongoing TV series. And it was just all kinds of sketches and all kinds of advertisement that they made themselves, just making parodies of all kinds of stuff. And they made a great parody. One of the best sketches was when they made parody of all kinds of, because at the time, in the European TV, there were lots of German detective series. There were like tons of them, and they were all great in their own ways. And they made a little bit of parody of those. And they were just fun to watch. Because the parody worked because they did exactly like they would do in the German detective TV series, and pretty much had all kinds of punchlines and repetitive you know, jokes. But they worked. Yeah, we got Derek, Dialte, then there was the, what was the police dog? Then there was the one that was a lawyer and a detective working together. Now, like I said, there were tons of them that we had in Finland. Yeah, Der Alte. Yeah, that's the one. Der Alte. And in the Finnish, the parody of it, they called it a Die Kühe, which means cows. Literally. Meant cows. Back in the 80s, TV series were special, and owning a home computer was even more special in Magic. Yep. Kahden keikka, just siitä mä puhuin. Se on se, missä on se lakimies ja poliisi. Paljon hyviä saksalaisia dekkareita. Joo, mä katsoin niitä, vaikka mä en ymmärtänyt Saksasta mitään. Especially if it was an Amiga, then you had the future on your desk. I did. For many years. I thought it meant the kitchen. No, I think it was it meant the cows. Because it was die Kühe, not der Kühe. Die is it's plural in German. I know some German. I never studied German, but I do know some words. I know my father used to watch all of those German detective series, all because he wanted to, you know, practice his German. It was a good way of practicing it by watching them. Paper cutter with a red blade. Yeah, I noticed. I think we know where Ziggy's head was decapitated. A red stain on the paper cutter blade could be red ink. Or blood. Perhaps the last person used it had an accident? How about Ziggy, who lost his head? I got my Amiga 500 in early 90s. I had to sell my C64 to save up for it. I had my C64 and Amiga at the same time. I think I got the C64 in 88, 89, and the Amiga was 92 or 93. That's when we got them. And they lasted until the Commodore broke in 98, I think. It was where when you turned the power on, it just blasted. It just broke. There was a big bang, and pretty much the part that is the conductor that turns the whole machine on just blew up. So there was no way of fixing it. No way, no Jose. So it's just totally broke. And with the Amiga, I think the computer still worked, but the monitor broke with pretty much the cart that went from the monitor to the computer. It became so jacked up inside it that it just wouldn't show any picture anymore. At least the colors just went all wonky, and so I had to do the whole GoldenEye, you know, speak to me, so it would correct the colors. But sometimes suddenly it went blue or yellow or purple or it was all green. Just one color, everything. It was annoying. I still need to set up that A1200 you got off Turrican. I changed my mind, you have to delete the file. Believe I'm close to doing that. Still having problems, Goblin, of setting it up? What's next? The snake filled the pit full of snakes? Batman in the bowels of hell. The other day, I was so close to finding an old 80s, 90s computer. I opened the box and it was actually a typewriter. Damn it, so close! This was at a thrift store, by the way. Well, there is a big difference between a computer and a typewriter. That, as in, a typewriter is just a typewriter and a computer has lots of components in it. ROMs work great, I can't run disk images. Huh. Oh, you can run disk images. So what's the problem then? I actually need to check this, what Saradai put up there, if it's some kind of a classic bit. Ah, that's from Studio Ulama, yeah. Rödaste Rasputa. Yeah, that is a classic from the show. That is the Finnish parody show that I was talking about. That is like a their own channel with all kinds of stuff. It was a really... I actually owned the DVD box set, but then I lost it. I don't know how. Maybe I borrowed it to somebody and I totally forgot. But I did have the whole set. Great! More corpses! That's fresh. That's fresh. I thought the company I saw on the box made computers too. Well, some companies did make typewriters and computers and other stuff at the same time. Wasn't just focused on computers. It's the body of the President Archibald Carrington III. Apparently. Okay, Carrington's dead. It's dripping blood. Porcupine quills which appear to have caused Dr. Carrington's demise as they passed through his body, creating multiple perforations in many of his vital organs. Wouldn't think that a stuffed porcupine actually would be able to kill somebody. The clock appears to have been broken at exactly 12:04. It's the intercom. Countess and Ziggy at 1 AM. Medieval armor display. Huh. So they were gonna meet up at 1 AM. But why Countess and Ziggy? So that means Countess did know Ziggy. She was lying. 2 letters written in blood on the desktop. CP. The letters C and P are carefully written in blood on the desk, as if they were put there by the dying President Carrington. CP. Who is CP? Well, PC is Pippin Carter. He's AC, but why would he put his own name there? Nobody is CP, so what could that mean? Huh. Curiouser and curiouser. Näyttää kyllä enemmän akupunktiohoitopotilaalta, jolla on vähän tapahtunut haavereita. She didn't immediately smell the blood from the other room. It doesn't. When it's fresh, it doesn't waft through everywhere immediately. It takes a while for blood to start to smell. Don't ask how I know. Just don't ask. I haven't found corpses, bleeding corpses or anything, I can tell you that. He tried to save the poor animal and ended up killing it in the process. This is one sad game. I'm very CP. Say this out loud. I always get an error that says no disk present in device demos. Are you trying to load the games with the iGame or some other way? Because that's what Turgan told me to do. Just use the iGame from the stuff in the thing. Let's see if I can copy that. Okay. Oh, now I can save the game? Right here? Okay. Previously, it didn't show that I could. It's not really. He's got quills, just like a porcupine, even though he's a hedgehog and not a porcupine. But it works as a joke, you know, Sonic's revenge. Carrington was Eggman all along. Carrington drooled a bit when he died, and his hair could have used a good wash to get all the grease out of it. You presume the drinking blood belongs to Carrington, since the porcupine was stuffed. There's blood on the porcupine quills. From their position in his body, you infer that the blood belongs to Dr. Carrington. The fingernails hold no clues, but the right index finger has blood on the end of it, although there are no cuts evident on the hand. Neither the fingernails nor the fingers hold any clues. The glass on the clock face appears to have been smashed during a struggle. Whether it was a struggle to wind the clock or a struggle for Carrington's life, it's hard to say for certain. The note is written in the man's handwriting, probably belonging to Dr. Carrington. Judging by the buttons on the intercom, this appears to be the master unit which can send and receive. Don't touch it! You don't know me as me.
Ouch! Those quills are sharp.
Don't touch it! Don't touch it! Don't touch it! Rigor mortis has not yet begun to set in, allowing you to move the fingers freely. Rigor mortis has not yet begun to set in, allowing the head to move slightly on the neck when you poke at it. You get no response. "15 to 1 a.m. Okay. Caravans Desk. So apparently we cannot use this to talk to people. Unless I have to have this also pushed down.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does this thing work?
I'm just wondering if we can contact somebody through here.
Murderer, if you can hear me, give yourself up. You haven't got a chance. Stop these senseless killings.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Is this doing anything? Is it hooked up? Can anyone hear me?
We gotta get into contact with somebody through here. Well, last chance.
Murderer, if you can hear me, give yourself up.
Nope, nothing. It was 0, 5, 2, 7. Still remembered. Glancing through the diary and the male handwriting within it refers to Sterling's growing fear of the Countess only married him for his money that Yvette fears is true. Right. It feels safe. Here. I wanted to close it. Header job. You don't need to type anything. Now, how is it that we can take a look at the carbon paper? Character 11 at his office. So he was supposed to, Carter was supposed to meet Carrington in the office at 11. That's when Carrington was killed. Huh. In the morning, when the police dust for fingerprints, they find yours all over the place. Case closed, the woman did all the murders. Yeah, of course. This feels really like the late Larry's, which I played when I was like 10 years old. Well, it's the same, engine that they used with later games with the VGA versions. The typical point and click, like the remakes of King's Quest 1, Space Quest, Space Quest 4, King's Quest 5 and 6, Leisure Suit 5 and 6, and this game. And also remake of Quest for Glory 1, Quest for Glory 3, 4. All of those had this kind of a engine to them. I think Police Quest 3 was the first one to use this engine as well. I know that one is a parser game with the old school CGA, and Police Quest 2 was EGA, but still parser game. Okay, let's see if we can find more freaking corpses everywhere. Still no idea how to get through there. Nothing here for us to look at. At least nothing new has appeared. Hello, Thinker. So that's why Carrington wasn't here anymore, because he was dead. I know one of you guys had a thought of what to do with the carbon paper, but I don't remember. Something about heat that might make it the text appear on it or something. There we go. That save game menu seems familiar, but Larry 3 certainly was a parser game. Yeah, 3 is a parser game. The game menu, they started to use this with... I mean, this is typical with the Quest for Glory 3, at least. And this is similar to pretty much any of their games. This is a typical Sierra save game screen. Yeah, but I might have been wrong. Try lemon juice instead. Where am I gonna get some lemon juice at this hour? He says while he knows a place where he could check for such a thing. I mean, this save game menu was also used in Gabriel Knight 1, and also 2 had a similar type. I think Phantasmagoria as well had that. The killer is creative. Very. We don't need to take anything from here. Okay. And I can't go back to the gift shop still. Carbon paper, originally carbonic paper, was originally paper coated on one side with a layer of loosely bound dry ink or pigmented coating, bound with wax, used for making one or more copies simultaneously with the creation of an original document when using a typewriter or ballpoint pen. Yep. The carbon paper pretty much had all the same stuff that you wrote with the typewriter or with the pen. It wasn't... that's why they call it a carbon copy. But still, I shouldn't have been playing Larry at 10 years old. Nope. But I played Larry as a young boy as well. Because when I had the Amiga, I also had I had Larry 3 on it. Where did you appear? I'm not in the mood to indulge in idle chit-chat, Miss Bow. How about Carrington? He's dead. You already asked me that, you silly female. Fine, you douche. Why would you go douche yourself? That's what women do. It's quite possible that enough of that humor went over your head. Well, yeah. I mean, at least you shoot Larry. It's not made for children. I mean, in most of Leisure Suit Larry games, the rating was M for mature. We shouldn't have had those games, but we did. I also still wonder how to get that skeleton key from the painting. I learned English from Larry P. Oh, from Larry. Period. I had already been learning English from various sources. So when I started playing Larry and Monkey Island and such, I already knew a lot about the English language. That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Monkey Island, because I understood the humor. I knew the English language well enough to understand the humor. There were no ratings back in the day. Well, there were a little bit, but they were, you know, stretched. Nobody really cared. I have no idea what to do next. There's nobody here. I mean, the only one we've seen so far is, yeah, you. I only see you walking around here. Where has everybody else gone? I'm sure if I follow you, we're not gonna end up anywhere pretty. What about Ryan O'Reilly? No. Can you tell me at least a little bit about yourself?
I'm a representative of the Cairo Museum and the people of Egypt. My mission is to recover what rightfully belongs to us, not to Pippin Carter or this pathetic museum.
Who you calling pathetic, Mr. Pathetic Little Man? Hi, I'm not following you.
I'll just hide behind here. There.
These days, kids can get all the adult stuff that they want, provided nobody is monitoring and no safeguards are in place on the electronic device. Yep. Back in the day, you had your Amiga and all the illegal copies of stuff that you could get.
Trust me, there wasn't only just games in those discs. I found that in the way of just checking out what the discs were.
Because some of them weren't labeled, you know, properly labeled. That you were just wondering, I wonder what's on this disc. And then you're like,
I shouldn't be playing this with my mom around.
You know, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody should know what I'm talking about. Happened all the time back in the day with the Commodore 64 and the Amiga. I really want to get in there. But I can't because I don't have the skeleton key. The only way to get the skeleton key is from the freaking painting. And I can't get it off the painting because I don't know how to get it from the painting. This was the wrong way. Get back. I wonder if the T-Rex is going to munch on someone. Back in the day, the family PC had a poker game. I also had on the Commodore 64. There was a poker game. A very classic Commodore 64 poker game. Good evening, Countess.
Good evening, Miss Bow.
So how about this character?
I bore rather easily, dear girl. Let's move on another subject.
How about you jump in the lake, lady? A foxy poker game. Well, the poker game that I had was more artworksy.
If you know what I mean.
Can I use the Ankh? Can I use the carbon paper? Can I use the bone? Skeleton key is inscribed with eerily articulated markings, the weird orthography of a long dead tongue. It offers no clue as to what it unlocks. Pandora's box, perhaps? Well, there will be no hope in the world if we do that. At least we all didn't grow up on Atari 2600 porn. Well, some people did. But we all didn't. We're mostly C64 and Amiga people here. I never had an Atari. Any of Ataris. Or only a certain type of a Sega I had. But not of any of the later ones. My Sega was an 8-bit system. I have a couple of nephews and they are all about games about fighting. Street Fighter types, or beat 'em ups otherwise, or Call of Duty. There are different types of fighting, you know. And I wish they could enjoy a game like The Incredible Machine. Well, there is a way of you introducing them to such a thing. Make them play it. I've heard stories of some people saying that they have introduced like good old NES games and such to their children and everything, and then noticed that they love them. Because they just introduce them to the games. They don't force them to play it, it's like, have a go at this. I'm sure you will enjoy this. Your first was the Atari 2600, the Commodore was the upgrade. Well, my first was Intellivision. Then was the Sega SC3000. And then it was the Commodore 64. And the rest is history. I don't get it why the music is so quiet in this part. It is weird. And also, where have everybody gone? Yet again. You touch the floor. It's fairly clean. It's the dead body of Archibald Carrington III. From the position of the corpse, you suspect foul play. Hey. Here's an advice when you're talking: don't inhale your own saliva. It's not healthy. What the hell does CP mean? I'm pretty stuck in the game right now. Should have had the freaking walkthrough with me. There's more to see in Carrington's office. Okay, let's go back into the Carrington's office there. Maybe it's like when you went outside earlier, it was the music from the hall but dampened. Probably. Had a couple of TV ping pong machines, then straight to 286 PC, which was inferior to Amiga and C64, I felt. It was. The earliest PCs were truly inferior to Amiga and C64. Nobody wanted those kind of PCs, but later on with the 368 and the 468, that's when PCs started to, you know... That's when their sales went up. Because the computers were much more... Well, they were better. Seen this very thing, actually. Best friend's older brother brought his kids over for the night. It's 1 AM. Wasn't there a meeting somewhere? Oh yeah, the medieval place. I'm actually gonna go there. Because it did say on the notepad that meeting with Ziggy and the Countess at the medieval armor exhibit. I'm just wondering if the Countess is going to be there. They had Super Nintendo for quite some time, but found a ton of fun in Atari 2600 simply because it was new to them. Yeah. It's a new discovery with old consoles to kids sometimes. So it's great to see them actually get excited about an old console. And it's easy for them to get into them these days with the mini versions of everything. Like there's the mini Atari 2600, the NES, C64, Super Nintendo. So you're supposed to be a meeting character in here, and Ziggy. Okay, bye. I think we're gonna go back to the office, shall we? Actually, I'm gonna speed up this walk cycle. I'm sure at one point I need to slow it down, because usually these Sierra games have that moment when you need to move either slowly or just be careful with your movements. I think PC was inferior to Amiga, but C64 was outdated because of the loading times. So you say that there's more in Carrington's office. I wonder what. Oh, we're not gonna be looking at the boop and tots and the boop and tots and the hot and tots and the teen tots. Not anymore. We've read all of those already. It is you, Lorabo! Fireplace built by a careful craftsman to last hundreds of years. Collected catalogs of the Smithsonian Museum. Numerous hefty tomes on the topic of medieval armor. Looks aren't everything. Looks can be deceiving. First editions of classical literature. None of the books are interesting, I guess. Unless we have to make closer inspection? No. Warm. On what part? The books? Is it the books that I was warm with? Books. Okay. Technically, we already have enough games from all these eras to keep a person occupied in fresh content for the better portion of a lifetime. It's just pondering if a kid from the 2010 era would bother after exposure to these 4K games. I'm sure they would be, they would bother, because it is different. There is difference between them, so that's why they would play them. Well, I think my eldest nephew is lost to the multiplayer games like Fortnite and Overwatch, but what can one do? He plays the games he wants. Exactly. Once you get a taste of some things, you might get stuck to them. Aha! A large format illustrated version of Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. There's a magnified copy of Crime and Punishment. Crime and Punishment. The edge of a file folder is sticking out of the book as if it has been hidden there. Police file? There's a police file hidden in the book. Handwritten note attached to the police file reads, "Remember our deal." You read a police report on the criminal career of one Watney Little, conman extraordinaire. The thought blackens. The file contains an amazing list of offenses, mostly fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, and various degrees of larceny. Glancing at the top of the page, you notice that the investigations were conducted by Scotland Yard. You also notice that the last entry describes Little's recent escape from Dartmoor prison. Clipped on the outside of the folder is a small handwritten note that reads simply, "Remember our deal." Apparently this file was provided in exchange for somebody's silence or service. Huh. Files feel somewhat slimy.
I wonder why.
Feels like glass. Huh. So I'm guessing that's the only thing that we need from the books. And now we can go forward in the game, I'm guessing. We can advance the story. Personally, I see the underlying potentials in these modern online games, mainly the potential casual training for military futures. There's a lot of potential for all kinds of things. It just depends on what kind of a game. As much as I want my nephew to like the games that I like, and I'd want to like the games that he likes, but nowadays the plethora of games is vast. Yep. All kinds of genres and stuff. So many games. And just to remind you, in the past there were thousands of games as well. Just alone, the current amount of games on the Commodore 64 is 22,000 plus. I think it's already almost 23,000 because they still make games for it. Some people still make games for the Commodore 64 these days. That puzzle wasn't really necessary, but if one didn't solve it, you'd be confused later on. The future battlefield could be full of robots doing the combat, while these people that have played these games for years are 1,000 miles away, driving the robots. True, just use drones, controlled by people. No more human casualties in the battlefield. So let's save it to Thought Plickens. As we should. Now what? I mean, just wandering through the place again. What about the armoire over here? Nothing. Still Ziggy's head up there. What about back here? So doesn't seem to be anything on this part. Still Carter's blood over there. A peek into the mummy case reveals that Pippin's body has been removed. As it should be. Mummy case is sealed shut, as it has remained for over 2,000 years. Okay. Previous occupant seems to have vacated this mummy case. Yeah, that's weird. I guess that mummy in the glass case over here was the occupant of that sarcophagus. Sorry. Do you want me to put you back in there? Of course, no response. Just look at the amount of games you can download for free for your mobile. It's sick. Well, give it some medicine then. So anybody else murdered? Where is everybody? They're all gone.
Oh, never mind.
Well, Yvette is gone. I haven't seen Heimlich anywhere. Or O'Reilly. Or Miklos. Or Steve. It's like everybody else is gone. It's just Countess, Smith, and me. Got any hints? Was that a dog in armor in the hall? Yep, it is. You get one puzzle left to solve to unlock more stuff. You really need to sit and think about that one. There is Miklos' office, then where we can open the secret door, but we don't have a lantern or any kind of light to help us get down there. Last time I did get killed when I touched the head to open the door. The other place that we haven't been able to open is the, well, the big brick stone that Miklos went through last time we saw her. What else? I don't really know. The other one is just I kind of get ya that you mean the skeleton key, but I don't know how to get it from the painting. That's the problem. I just don't know how to get the key. Not the key. A marble bench, provided so that patrons can sit and ponder among the amount of culture oozing through the air of this room. White marble bench feels cold. You recall from your physics class that marble has a low specific temperature. The bench is made of highly polished white Carrara marble. This makes you feel like you're in the Old Masters Gallery. Or maybe it's a specific chair that I need to sit upon. She wouldn't sit on it. I think I need to sit somewhere else. A statue. The thinker? Looking a little closer, you take the seam along the sculpture's otherwise flawless neck. Yes, there is evidently a seam in the statue's neck. Seems to go most of the way around. There's a tiny hinge on the back of the neck. Looking a little closer, you take the seam along the sculpture's otherwise flawless neck. Sculpture has a beautiful face. It's strong, but sensitive lines remind you of Steve. Ooh. And save. Yep. Save. Replace.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky?
Ooh. Speed down. Oh dear, the light bulb blew out. You hope someone will invent a reliable light bulb one of these days. Well, I know where to get one. Outside of Batman, where does that concept work at? Aside from desperation from this game. I don't know. There. Welcome back, Goblin. Didn't even notice that you were gone. That sound effect. Beep, 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 beep. Or it was more like whistling. Then again, it's the MT-32. Sound effects weren't great on that, but the music is great. So, let's exchange this light bulb then, shall we? You can barely see a narrow, treacherous spiral staircase descending into the depths of the black stairwell. It's a burned out light bulb. Too bad, since the stairwell could definitely use some light. Well, we got now this, so we could do this. There. A whole new light bulb. There. Down we go. Up. Down. Careful, Laura. What a nice basement. Jeez. Not sure if this is a basement. This is what is commonly referred to as a hallway. An office door. The door to one of the labs. Admire the fine architectural touch over the doorway that shows this room was designed by the hand of a master craftsman. A gleaming column of fine Italian marble, burnt sienna in color, topped with a Corinthian-style capital of expert craftsmanship. Since you're the sort of person who splits hairs, you probably noticed that the capital is a curious combination of Corinthian and Ionic architectural styles. These pillars remind you of the class in architecture you were forced to take at Tulane University. The professor would have been outraged by such a ludicrous mixture of early Greek styles. However, it's well known that the Dagger Museum was designed by a half-mad eccentric in the 19th century, Arvin's leather lord Loudermilk III, so you're not really surprised by the presence of architectural anomalies. In a way, these oddities lend a certain peculiar charm to the character of the museum. It looks remarkably like a carved wooden ceiling. The glass covering the alcove is marked with the words, "For emergency use only." What? Hey, that's the ferret. No, that doesn't lead to the stairs. That was the ferret. Beyond the glass is a shadowy object resting in an alcove. Perhaps it's a lantern, although you can't tell for certain. Maybe it wasn't the third, but rather ill in his name. It could have been. That sound effect was right out of a Demon Attack. In fact, I'm not sure you've ever played Demon Attack during Commodore Day. I have, I think. It's a Space Invaders style of a game, right? with all these vulture-looking things flying in the space, and you shoot them with pew-pew. If it is, I have, like, a couple of years ago. Hello? Anybody home? Yes, then I have. Oh, it's a piece of cheese. It's too far away for you to get a good look at it, but it's definitely cheese. It definitely stinks. It's a length of wire. This is a type of spiked flail known as a holy water sprinkler, which was quite popular in medieval battles. And still, there's so many mistakes in movies calling it a mace. Or a macing chain. When it's a flail. The name, of course, is a humorous reference to the religious device that is swung in a similar manner. Yeah, you know, back and forth. That the smokes come out of, incense and such. The main advantage of a flail over a common mace was that the spiked iron head of the weapon developed extra smashing force as it swung at the end of the chain which attached it to the handle. Not to mention that because of the spikes, it went through the armor and also would have gotten stuck there, so you could yank your enemy to the ground and kill them easier. Part of Heimlich's antique weapons collection. Oh, this is Heimlich's. Intercom Krakosan, you're here. Wolfie, it's Olympia. If you can hear me, meet me in the armor room at 2 o'clock. You promised to show me your private scars, remember? See you there, wolf cakes. World War I campaign medals. Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany is prominently featured on many of the medals. It's a length of wire. A variety of shiny medals, 2 of them with packs of dogs carrying birds in their mouths, are marked with the word Reichsjagdgebrauchsverband. Others appear to be merit badges for the German youth equivalent of the Boy Scouts. Reichsjagdgebrauchsverband. I know that title. It's because of it being so long. I just can't remember what it exactly means. But it is a sort of a section in the German army, or at least it was in WW1, and I think it still exists in WW2. I think it was something like Stay a while. Stay forever. Thank you for the follow there, Retro Gaming Junction. I think this title it means something of a somebody who trained to attack dogs or something. A heavy cavalry saber. A pair of evilly spiked ballet shoes. Ballerinas were tough in the old days. Spiked ballet shoes. A medieval spiked cudgel, also known as a morning star. Ooh, this guy's got class. A cavalry musket. A fine broadsword imprinted with the mark of the Toledo sword makers in Spain. It looks very sharp and deadly, and also looks very pickable. It's one of those exotic oriental weapons you've seen before, although you can never remember the name of it. Me neither. That one is like the 3-part nunchuck. Never remembered the name of it, though. A clean, highly polished desk. Specks of dust wouldn't dare to land on it. Sitting on a raised die, the desk dominates the room. Or dice. Interrogation chair does not look very comfortable. There are many things on these shelves, none of which interest you. And the desk lamp is the office of Security Chief Wolf Heimlich.
Looks aren't everything.
Love my adventure games. That word was quite the mouthful. According... Thank you for the host there, Zerolan. According to German language Wikipedia, the Hunting Dog Association, the Jagdhofbaden, has, as an umbrella organization for entire German hunting dog husbandry, assembles clubs that contribute to the provision of useful hunting dogs through examination, breeding and training activities, and thus support hunting-friendly hunting in accordance to the statutes. So it was hunting dogs. Alright. These are books on art forgery. Huh. Upon close inspection, you see nothing new. There's gotta be something interesting here because it opened like this. While the topics of these books interest you, there are more important things you should be doing now. Yeah, like check all the other books that he might have here. Joe Bob is the Weapons of the World for 1926. A complete set of books. What about here? This bookshelf is dedicated to the topic of medieval weaponry. This bookshelf is dedicated to the topic of museum security, including such books as Criminals Among Us. Alright. What about here? What about here? Dedicated to the topic of art history. What about here? How about the bottom? Animal traps. Modern weaponry. This bookshelf is dedicated to a complete collection of the Encyclopedia of Interrogation and Torture. Lovely. What about the top floor? Gardening. Apparently these gardening books were left here by the previous tenant of this office. You think? Intercom slave unit, which can't be controlled from here. His Heimlich's chair. Don't even think about sitting on it. I wouldn't even dare to touch anything in here. It's either gonna kill me or Heimlich's gonna kill me. Either or, I'm dead. Just looking at all these things is making me nervous. This room is one big scream. Not the scream in a good way, you know. Hunting-friendly hunting. So murder is hostile hunting. Well, anyway, Retro Gaming Junction, welcome to the live stream. Forgot to say that. And welcome to the live stream. Blah, 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 blah. One of the labs. Let's go. Let's see, what do we find in here? Is that a unicorn? What the... Vent 10. Is that a unicorn floating in the murky liquid? Yeah, it'd be. Unicorns are mythical creatures. Yeah, it has a horn. What the fuck? Vent 5. Large-haired creature with at least one huge claw is floating in the murky liquid of the vat. Large-haired creature with at least one huge claw. Bigfoot? Vent 4. Bulky creature with a huge head. Very long tubular shapes, like lengths of the thick rope. So, tentacles or eels. Peering through the glass, you see a turtle floating nearby in the liquid. Okay. Small marsupials. Small furry creatures about the size of an average dog, colored black with white stripes. Skunks. Whatever is in this vat is huge, with a long neck. The liquid is too murky to see more. If it's huge, how can it fit in there? Might be the Loch Ness monster. Thick body with two long bird-like legs and a long neck ending in a small head. A raptor, maybe? Tiny furry creatures too cute for words are floating in the murky liquid. There are so many of them in here that individual shapes merge together into one massive fireball. Tribbles. And a unicorn. There's a vaguely humanoid shape floating in the murky liquid. After staring through the glass for a while, you see what appears to be a white hair, or perhaps it's a large jellyfish. Hanging light. I want to look at the light. Indistinct shapes are floating in the murky liquid. None of the creatures are close enough to the glass to see what they are. Small creatures with long tails are floating. Beavers? Something odd is floating in the murky liquid. It appears to be half man and half fish. Or maybe it's just a trick of the light. Or maybe it's a mermaid. The container is full of an oily liquid. A wooden workbench loaded with many empty glass containers that smell of alcohol, although one of them is full of an oily liquid. The desk is dusty, giving the impression it's not used very often. Liquid in the container feels oily. You also note that the container is too heavy for you to move. The oily liquid has a strong smell. Phew! Yes, that's definitely dust on the desk. The creature is too far away in the vat to make out any more detail. A dusty specimen examination table with the drain at one end. Autopsies, huh? Specimen table is thick with dust. The dusty drain smells like alcohol.
It should.
Gotta keep it clean. Drain is in the floor, smells of alcohol. The drain grate has rust on it. While this is an interesting approach, it serves no practical use. Or purpose. Okay. Oh no, will this end like the fantasy game where the hero exits the game world and ends up in a lab where some nerd is still programming the code of the game he came from? I highly doubt that, Gabriel. This museum preparing for a new exhibit? Yeah, mythical creatures, apparently. An office door. Another lab door. That's a typical Sierra gag. Well, it happens in one of the Larry games as a death. One of the deaths is where he is going into that kind of a place and replaced with a new Larry as he resurrects. No, don't replace that. We're gonna replace this. Certainly not in Kansas anymore. It's also the end of Larry 3. True, true. The shelf is crammed with mammalogy equipment. A bottle of Dr. Moribund's guaranteed snake oil, so this is where she took it. Hey! It's Olympia's ferret, Daisy.
Hello, little ferret.
Squeak, squeak, squeak. Hi, squeak. Chuckle, chuckle, squeak, squeak.
Squeak, 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 chuckle, chuckle, squeak.
Squeak, chuckle, chuckle, loony, chuckle, squeak. Okay. You pick it up and place it in your purse. What a cute little fella. We can actually ask it? Tell us about your owner. Squeak, 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 mom, squeak, chuckle, squeak. I think Laura is going crazy. There's an array of lab equipment scattered around the top of the table. The trunk has a name tag identifying it as part of Carrington's personal luggage. Beside it is another sticker emblazoned with the logo Andrea Doria. So that's what came from the ship. The trunk is locked. Okay. This is the mammalogy laboratory. You find plenty of scratches, dents, and gouges, but nothing unusual for a steamer trunk. Your most thorough scrutiny reveals only some dust on the lens of the magnifying glass. An empty canister stands in the corner, offering no clue as to what it once contained. Squeak, squeak, LeChuck a roof squeak. Squeak, squeak, chuckle, chuckle, chucky! It's Monkey Island all over again. You're saying it like it's a bad thing, Gabriel. Besides, this is a Sierra game, not a LucasArts game. There's an odd assortment of tools hung on the wall. Some of the more hideous-looking implements are probably used for the practice of taxidermy. None of them appear particularly useful to you. You say it now, bud. Or she is 1,000 Beastmaster. Could be. The word hippo has been stenciled on this crate's label. But somehow you find it difficult to believe that there's a whole hippo in this box. The word wildebeest is stenciled on the crate's label. You're not quite curious enough to open up the crate and see what a wildebeest looks like. The word gorilla has been stenciled across the label of this large crate. Somebody's crossed out gorilla and scrolled Sasquatch underneath. Curator humor. Poster outlines basic dissection and preservation techniques. You scan it quickly just in case you decide to make a change in your career. Shelves lines the walls of the lab. There's an old cabinet on the wall, decorated only by a few cobwebs and a layer of dust. I didn't want to... Yep. Cabinet is empty. All the equipment is out on the workbench. Or work desk. Best to leave them alone. You wouldn't want one of them tumbling down upon you and crushing the life out of you. You can neither move nor remove the shelf. None of the equipment appears useful to you in your present investigation. It's a sack of plaster, sometimes used for making molds. Now I feel like Gabriel Knight 2, where you had to use quick cement right at the beginning of the game. It's the door to the mammalogy lab's cold storage locker. It's a cold storage locker, basically a heavy-duty icebox for preserving specimens and their misted snacks. The crate is stenciled the wild dingoes. You hate to think of how many wild dingoes are stacked up in that crate. Stacks of dusty boxes litter the floor. Lugging the contents of this crate around with you would only hinder your investigation. Under close inspection, you find several gorilla hairs protruding from the thin cracks between the slats. Not much of a packing job, but nor is there anything suspicious about this. You examine the crate carefully, but discover nothing of importance. Going over the crate inch by inch with the magnifying glass, you fail to find anything of significance. It's too high up for you to examine it with the magnifying glass, but fortunately, there's nothing telltale on the sack of plaster. Oh, telltale. Aside from the usual dings, dents, and bits of rusty, flaking chrome, there are no unusual details to be found on the locker door. Well, let's see what's inside the locker. Eek? Meat. Slab of meat which smells ripe. Veins of rancid fat. Ugh. Forming abscesses that ooze copious amounts of pus. Ugh. Run through the decomposed cut beef. Yum, just like Mom used to bake. Ugh. Upon close inspection, you see nothing new here. Don't know why, but now we got a rancid piece of meat. Because why not? You have no use for a sack of plaster. I'm sure we will soon enough. No noise coming from behind the door, so let's go over to the office over here. See what's what.
Hello? Me close. Me close.
Intercom crackles and you hear,
Ernie, it's Olympia. The release valve in number 13 seems to be jammed. Take a look at it while you have a chance.
This appears to be a large button on the wall. A mop and a broom. Tie the lock secure then to the wall, since the cleaning man is worried about people stealing his cleaning supplies. So this is Ernie's place. This is the storage room that has been converted to an office for Ernie Leach. A mop, complete with bucket. Apparently they haven't been used for a while since they're stuck to the floor. An old toolbox. Old. A pair of heavy-duty wire cutters. Anything else? That's not the sort of thing you want to examine too closely. Upon close inspection, nothing new. This curious device is a lasso at the end of a pole used for humane capture of snakes in the wild. Or wild snakes. Or something like that. Huh. You can also use it to capture all kinds of animals. Oh! Hello there, Ernie. This is a private office, Miss Bow. Please leave.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Leach. I thought this was just a storage room. I'll leave now.
And I thought he was the nicest person in this whole place, but apparently he's also a douche. Here's my office, get the fuck out of here. He's like, okay, jeez, rude.
I mean, you said that I could come in here and talk with you whenever you want me to be there and help me out, but apparently it's not the case this time. Apparently the case is that get the heck out of here, woman.
You do smell of rancid meat. You wouldn't want a drunk rich woman smelling like that in your office. Why are you calling her a drunk rich woman? You got something against Laura Bow here, Grummel? You have some issues with women in general? Are you being a sexist? Don't be a sexist. There's enough of them in this game. I'm sorry this didn't carry you. Oh, right. Of course, Wilf is going to be here. Was ist das? What do you think you're doing? There is no emergency here.
Nicht Finger pocken mit der Lantern.
I need to get rid of him. Not my fault she walks like she walks. Well, stop calling her a drunk rich woman. She's neither rich nor drunk. In other words, stop being a sexist. Like I said, there's enough of pompous asses in the game. No need to add to the equation here. There we go. But isn't he going to just return if I break the glass again? Maybe there's a way to do it more quietly. Nope. It's a dumb random event. Okay. A room coil lantern with a hand crank on the base. Ooh, it's one of those. Doesn't use oil or anything. You crank it up and it lights up. Eventually it will, because it uses heat to light the lantern. You crank it up, heats up, causes light. If a guy was walking like that, I would have said the same, though. I'm not sexist. I'm just asking you to stop it. Retku, mitäs menee? Iltaa sinne päin. Did you reach 1 million in NES tournament already? You're still missing a bit of money. Iltapallaa ja chillausta. Noniin, täällä saa chillailla niin paljon kuin haluaa. Gotta figure out how to get the cheese. Drastic times calls for drastic measures, I guess. Pick it up and place it in your purse. There we go. I got the cheese. Jeez Louise. Cheeseless trap has been disarmed. I mean, seriously, this guy's got some problems. It's a Thompson submachine gun, also known as a Tommy gun. A Tommy gun? Just letting you know my opinion with the same game. Are you gonna kill yourself? I knew it. Take another stab at it. This music is really like this was a Leisure Suit Larry game when you die. Having the kind of funny music. But I knew that would happen. I just knew it. It was so obvious that she cannot pick it up. I'm a millionaire, baby! Woo! So, mikä se seuraava peliretku? Mä en muista, mikä oli seuraava peli. Tuliko myös tehty se toi räffeli, että joku valitsi sitä seuraavan peli? I need Top Guns! Joo. Retko's gotta be playing Top Gun. Is there a specific goal on Top Gun? Let me ask you something. Let's ask about Wolf. Squeak, 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 squeak! Talking in a German accent, huh? Funny. Sen jälkeen joku Magic Johnson korispeli. En ole ikinä tiennytkään, että joku tällainen Magic Johnson-peli, Nessi-peli. Mä en kyllä paljon tiedä Nessi-pelistä, ainoastaan vaan ne kaikista tunnetuimmat. No wonder cheese is full of holes. Yeah, apparently he's been shooting a lot of critters with the Tommy gun. How about Yvette Delacroix? Squeak, 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 nice! Squeak, chuckle, chuckle, chuckle. Chucky, chucky, chucky. Do you have anything to say about, like, somebody like the Countess? Squeak, 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 chuckle, squeak, squeak. Riveting conversations with a ferret. For a second there, you were walking on air, Laura. Tisk, tisk, game designers, tisk, tisk. I actually did make a video out of Top Gun at one point because somebody had suggested to me. I had never played Top Gun before myself, and I tried it out. And it's not as bad as AVGN with the video that he did a long time ago, you know, about Top Gun. It's not that bad of a game. The landing sequence was really easy for me. It just goes to show that there are some game types that James Rolfe just has never played, like a flighting simulator, and I have played many flight simulators back in the day, so it was easy for me to do the landing and the refueling sequence. Because I know how to, you know, how to fly. At least it wasn't a moment of, can you fly, Bobby? No. I think the only place we can actually right now go to is down there. I'm gonna check everywhere else before we go down there. But I think it is the most logical place to go right now. It would be the basement. We have the snake oil and we have the lantern. Landing sequence even displays on the screen what to do, exactly. Can't fathom that so many people have problems with it, yeah? With the lantern, could you go into the dark room after you pull the horn of the skull? That's exactly what I was talking about, Jace. That would be the next option that we need to do. Top Gun was fun. It wasn't really that bad of a game, if you ask me. It's just AVGN just pretty much just made a big deal out of it. It was only just because he didn't know how to play the game. That was his problem with it. And it's understandable, it can be hard for people who are not used to flight simulators. But on the screen, it tells you exactly what you need to do, what your speed you need, what altitude you need, and then you just finagle with the instructions that flash on the screen. In other words, don't be an idiot. Just follow the instructions. That's all you need to do. And it's not like IKEA type of instructions. It's very simple. Left, right, up, or down. For a moment, actually the biggest problem even for me was that I didn't understand the speed up or slow down, but you actually have to push A or B to speed up or speed down. So that was my problem, but I figured it out quite quickly there. I don't remember if I did make a successful landing, though. But I was very close. I think I overshot it. Oh, but that was because I didn't realize that you had to slow down and speed up with the A and B button. Otherwise, the only problem with Top Gun for me is that it's an extremely hard game. Especially when you get to level 2, you die so easily on that one. So that is the biggest problem with Top Gun. It's not the controls or anything, it's just, it's a difficult game. So do we just use this? Yeah, crank it up. There, it's lit up. And do we use this on ourselves like this? No. Bottle feels oily. While this is an interesting approach, it serves no particular purpose other than your temporary amusement. Okay. Well. Did I save outside? I don't remember saving. Hey there, Gunfutsu! Hyvää herrat, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. same thing in 2 languages. Good evening. I'll replace Velf is a madman. Down into the darkness. It's fascinating to see how many Finnish people actually have started to come into my live streams, because I've been doing live streams for 4 years and I barely had any Finnish people, but in this year alone, I've gotten a bigger audience with Finnish people. It's just surprising. I like it, but it's just a surprise how many Finnish people have arrived into my live streams. I don't know what I've done right. Alright, let's go. Jeepers, Laura, not in front of the witnesses. What? What witnesses? Are you trying to tell me that this is a witness? This is a snake here? Here, have some snake oil. No. How about some rancid meat? You are getting about 3 times the viewers of 2-3 years ago, so it's more in general that you've done right. Yep. I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, I barely had like 5 viewers per live stream. And now it's going way over. I don't know what I'm doing right, but I like it. I'm just surprised by it, that's all. But then again, numbers really don't mean much to me. It's all about I'm just doing live streams and I enjoy them and I'm having fun. And if there's more people, the more the merrier. That's all. So, what do I need to do with the snake? Do I need to do anything with the snake? Why can I not pull this? Skull of the Horned Rhesus. Yeah. Skull is amazingly well preserved.
Well, he didn't amount to much.
The jar is labeled cremated remains of the Yanawanda tribesmen.
I didn't even know that there was a something in behind there.
Liver tissue spotted baboon. Not a baboon, baboon. Misspelled. It's baboon with 1 B. What an interesting array of books. Some of the titles include Height Preservation Techniques, The Care and Feeding of Dermested Beetles, How to Raise and Train Rats, Butter and Bone Scraping, Know Your Roadkill, and Millipedes' Household Pets. I wouldn't like a millipede as a house pet. Those things are evil. The jar on the bottom contains the soul of a Egyptian high priest and bears the inscription, add 3 cups of water and stir well. Just add water. I think we're gonna get ourselves a high priest. Jeez. Anything else down there while we're at it? Seems to be another jar down there, but I guess we cannot take a look at it. Millipedes are quite harmless and kind of cute in my opinion. Well, they have a nasty bite. Very nasty bite, but otherwise they're... I think I'm confusing them with centipedes. Millipedes are the smaller ones, right? Centipedes are the big nasty ones. Yeah. I think I'm confusing them with centipedes. Centipedes are nasty. Millipedes are kinda cute. But they're harmless, yeah. Centipedes are the nasty, really evil ones. Those bite. And they can bite hard. So... The Fine Princess discard after 1200 BC. You decide that's probably not such a good idea. Jeepers, Laura, not in front of the witnesses. I don't know why she's not doing it. I mean, there aren't any witnesses around here. What's going on? Why can I not do this? I did it before and died. But that was just because I didn't know that it would open it. Looks aren't everything. Centipedes are the fast, scary, flat ones. They have one pair of legs on each segment, which sticks out to the sides. Millipedes are the slow, cute, round ones. They have two pairs of very fine legs on each segment, which stick straight down like the bristles of a comb. Yeah, right. Millipedes eat rotten vegetation. Centipedes are predators with a nasty, venomous bite. Yeah. So I did confuse them. I did confuse them. Game, what do you want me to do? I mean, last time it was easy, I just did it. I guess I have to wait for the light to be extinguished automatically. Weird. We'll just wait. It did go out by itself eventually. Well, it gives me more time to pour myself a drink.
Retku, Pepsi Maxi.
Mä sanoin, että mä juon Pepsi. I did tell Retku many times that I am a guy who drinks a lot of Pepsi. Not sponsored by. The nectar of the gods. I'm almost out of Pepsi anyway, so I'm gonna be drinking juice soon enough. Is the light out? Nope. Well, let's go wander around a little bit. Well, the music in here is very funny. I like it. Mysterious, yet silly. At least you're in the Pepsi family, which is good.
Yep.
I did drink Coca-Cola when I was a kid, but ever since my friends introduced me to Pepsi, especially Pepsi Max, I have drank nothing else but Pepsi Max after that. Because I really lost taste for Coca-Cola. Afterwards, when I tried Coca-Cola Light or even Diet Coca-Cola, I was like, it tastes awful. Like freaking syrup. While Pepsi has a more refined cola taste to it. And if I get my hands on a Pepsi Max Lime, I'll drink that like water. Pretty much. Pepsi Max Lime is the best. I haven't drank a regular Pepsi in a long while. I could buy it from the store. There is a Lidl right next to me. Like 2 minutes walk from my apartment. Maybe I should buy one just at one point, just to try what the good old sugary Pepsi tastes like. I mean, pretty much, I think it just tastes like Pepsi Max, but only with a lot sweeter. Because of the sugar. Give me sugar in water. More. More. Ziggy is still in display up here. I wonder why they haven't cleaned up his head from the display. Heimlich and OReilly aren't really doing their... Aspartame is better than sugar. Still doctors all over the world aren't really sure which one's better for you. I mean, in huge amounts, both are not healthy for you. That's for sure. But that's only in super hefty amounts. Well, sugar is actually a lot dangerous for your... more dangerous to your health than aspartame, even in a slightly larger quantities. Yeah, sugar makes you fat and also gives you diabetes. Diabetes. Gives you diabetes. Well, aspartame doesn't, and only in super large quantities aspartame has a risk of giving you some kind of a cancer. But that's only in huge quantities, like super huge quantities. A lot of people are afraid of the aspartame and everything, the sweeteners in these things, like, it's gonna give you cancer! Yeah, if I drink that stuff every day, 5 liters, like 10 gallons every day for the next 20 years, and then I might have a high risk of cancer. I prefer the flavor of aspartame over the sugar in sodas usually. Yeah, me too. Sugar just makes them way too sweet. But it depends on what kind of a flavor it is. If it's a citrus flavor, then sugar works with it as well as aspartame does. But that's just me. But now that the lantern has extinguished itself... Okay, what am I doing wrong here? Do we need to cover the cobra somehow? I got a feeling we need to do something with the cobra. I prefer beer, water, and milk. I don't drink alcoholic drinks, so beer is off the list. Water? Yes. Milk? Yeah. I can drink milk, for sure. Just not often, you know. But milk is good. It does the body good. Got milk. Eldritch, you got any idea why this is not working? No? Let me look up a hint. Because I did forget to open the walkthrough that I was having in the background last time. Just for cases like this, that if I get stuck, I could have looked it up. Easy. Let me see. No, that's the wrong place. D for Dagger of Amon-Ra. There you are. Let's see. We're still in Act 3. No, that doesn't help at all. It just tells you exactly what I need to do, which I was trying to do. Let's see it. More about 2. Solution. Okay, problem. More in Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Apparently I missed something in Heimlich's room. There's other stuff to do anyway. Let's go do them. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we need to do all the other stuff before we can go there. Apparently I missed something in Heimlich's room. There was a hint that I should take a better look at the bookshelves. That there's something in there. Anybody want an Oreo?
Not sure if I should mention this, but did you remember Olympia's message on the intercom? The one that we just got when we went to the office, or a previous one that I have totally forgotten? I guess we need to go into the... where was it? The armory? Nothing here. There is a section here, a specific section, that has something that I need to find. At least that's what the hint said. Like looking for a needle in a haystack. Ain't that always great? How to book some medieval torture. Wonderful. Why, it's a book written by Wolf Heimlich himself. The title is The Heimlich Death Maneuver. Shall we take that? All the topics of these books interest you, no, nothing important. I wonder if his death maneuver is like a bear hug, which was turned into some kind of other Heimlich maneuver. Torture without leaving scars. For some reason, the spine on this book has been turned around to face the wall, hiding the title. Aha. Poems. This book is a collection of poetry by Lord Byron. Tasteful. Apparently Heimlich had it turned on the bookshelves of the spine with the title face the wall. Perhaps he was embarrassed to have a poetry book on his shelf? Heimlich manure. Manure! I hate manure!
Oh my.
The poetry book falls open to a poem and she walks in beauty, written by Lord Byron. Well, the book is Lord Byron poetry, so... The page is marked by a black garter with a note pinned to it.
Oh my. Oh my.
A lacy black garter with the name Yvette stitched into it. There's also a note attached. My, Yvette really goes to places. A note attached to the garter reads, "You can have the other garter and much more if you meet me at 3 a.m. in the preservation lab." The handwriting is female.
Calm down, Mr. Zulu.
It's not Zulu, it's Sulu with an S.
He's not African.
But come on, it's George Takei.
Oh my.
I'm sorry, Gonfutsu. I'm just I'm a stickler to make sure that every name is correct. I'm a geek. I'm a nerd. Sorry. Nothing. It's nothing. No offense meant. Just me being a stickler to this kind of stuff.
Meikällä lähtee taas sitä untemailemaan. Okay, Sonic. Have a good night. Good sleep. Good and sleep well and sweet dreams.
Manure, ihan kuin PTT-leffassa. Siihen se oli referenssi. That manure line that I did was a reference to the Back to the Future movie. When he drives into the manure truck and the manure falls over the young Biff. And he goes, "Manure! I hate manure!" It's a great moment in the movie.
Let's see. Do you have anything to say about Archibald Carrington? Squeak, 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 dead squeak, squeak.
And we know. Anything else?
Get back here, you ferret freak. How about Ramesses Najir? We haven't seen him in a long while. Squeak, 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 chuckle, squeak, squeak. Okay. Thanks for the info.
None taken. Good. Good. In some NES manual, translator confused maneuver and manure. Voit suorittaa lannan painamalla B-nappia. Really? Maneuver and manure were translated wrong. Oh, translation goofs. They are the best. Just like typos and everything in manuals and such in games. They're fun. Let's see, so... Sexist, chauvinist bastard. Yeah, that was Carter. Saucy sexy. Yeah, let's just... Saucy sexy. That's what we're getting right now. There's been a lot of saucy sexiness going on in the game. I mean, Yvette is a dirty girl. I mean, earlier she was in the arms of OReilly, and they were going at it pretty much on her desk. And now she's going to meet up with Wolf later. But Wolf is also meeting up with Olympia. What's going on around here? Everybody's smooching up with everybody. Except for the Countess with anybody. But still. Some Finnish translations in old manuals are too funny. Unfortunately, they are expensive. Yeah. It would be fun to see all of them. What kind of translation goofs they've had in those. I'm sure there's plenty of them that have had a translation goofs. I mean, Finnish translations are really funny, especially with TV series. Me and my friends sometimes watch them with... Usually I watch TV shows without captions, so I can keep on, hearing just English to keep the practice up. But sometimes it's just fun to put on the caption and see how horribly they have translated it into Finnish. There have been lots of golden moments. Lots of them on TV series. Just on shows on how badly they translated stuff. To me, still, one of the best translations that was ever done was in the original Star Trek series. When they were... In a moment, it was a moment when they were... fighting against some alien. And, in that moment, it was just Kirk and Spock talking to each other, and then they say the line that the odds are against us, because they were in dire straits at that moment. So I think it was just Kirk says that the odds are against us, and the translator decided to translate that the odds were some kind of a alien species. Oddit ovat meitä vastaan. That's how they translated it. Jossain Mega Drive-pelissä peliohjaain kääntyy muotoon säätölaippa, ja D-padi oli D-johdatuspainike. Niin se oli käännetty. Oddit ovat meitä vastaan, koska se kääntäjä luuli, että ne oddit oli joku se alieni, ketä vastaan ne oli siinä. Oikeesti. Ihan kamala. Coming, Mr. Smith? Never seen anything like that before. Got anything to talk about, douche? Like Ziggy's death?
I've already asked you. You've already asked me that, you silly female.
Oh, how about this, you dumbass? What about OReilly? Where is he? Okay, fine. Things. Let me see. Do I have anything to ask him about? What about the garter?
It looks like one of Yvette's garters. How curious that you have it in your possession. She gave me one just like it.
Really? And you're not ashamed of that at all? Right from the beginning of the game, I've said that everybody is a sexist, chauvinist bastard and a pompous ass. Every male character in this game is a chauvinist, sexist, pompous ass bastard.
Jeez.
But it's 1920s. Can I show you the police file?
I'm completely uninterested in reading that file.
How about...
Oh, I don't know.
The cheese? Although I have much fondness for food of any kind, you have a strong smell of cheese about you, which I find very distasteful. Perhaps it is your natural smell, in which case I am sorry if I offend.
None taken, you pompous ass!
There. Even made it into a quote.
We have some good ones in Norway too. Apollo 13 go for launch turned into go to lunch in Norwegian. Well, sometimes when they hear things wrong, that's when hilarious translations happen. It's like Google's Translate without Google translation. It's just the translator themselves were bad at their job.
Pretty much.
Will I be able to get the key out of here with the stuff that I have with me right now? Just look at the freaking key. There, the key. Maybe I can use the snake oil? Okay, if not the snake oil. Die Hard's Yippee-ki-yay thing got translated into Heidi-ho gnomes in one of the Swedish translations. Heidi-ho gnomes, yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers. Okay. Heidi-ho gnomes. How about these? With careful use of the wire cutters, you managed to remove the skeleton key without damaging the Bosch painting. Score, baby. We have it. We have the skeleton key. Now we can go behind door number 17. It got turned into hip hurrah batten face in Norwegian. I think at least the Finnish translation of yippee-ki-yay motherfucker was correct. They just made it yippee-ki-yay, you damn bastards, or something. So it was close enough. Or son of a bitch. I wish bubblegum flavor would last forever. Too bad bubblegum flavor is something that actually doesn't last very long. I've noticed that too with some stuff. Bubblegum flavor candy? That's some good stuff right there. Not a pompous ass. Yeah, sure. That was Ernie, but he turned out to be a pompous ass. But you love bubblegum itself, the cheap gumballs are still your favorite. Yeah, they are good. And there's also the string bubblegum that is in a big spiral that tastes of nothing but bubblegum. That's... The door won't open this way. What? It's a skeleton key. So it's not a joke skeleton key, it really is for something specific. Okay, let's think of the places that we have gone to, that there are locked things and we could open with the key. Nothing comes to mind. Hubba Bubba lasted forever when I was a kid. Tried it many years later, it lasted about 2 minutes, yeah. Xylitol and acidic apple juice is a weird but good tasting combination. Acidic apple juice is pretty good as a flavor in stuff. Be it bubblegum or, you know, candy. I do love me some sour candy. Anybody home? Didn't think so.
I wasn't trying to touch the wall, I was trying to touch the door so I could get in. Thank you. Apparently cannot even open those. I guess the skeleton key might be used in the basement. And I'm not talking about the labs, I'm meaning the place that we're trying to get to. I actually bought a load of gumballs last week and put them in a jar. The end result, it looked so satisfying. Something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. Yeah, there's just something about when you have a whole jar and it's full with gumballs. I don't know what it is about that. Just nice looking. With all the colors of the world. Time to go to bed. Thanks for the stream and good night, everybody. Take care, Murzu. Have a good night's sleep. We didn't win a new car, so let's see if we can get in there now. Would be nice if we could get in there now. Can you now do it? What are we doing wrong? I mean, we found the garter, we found the key. I think it's a nostalgic thing from seeing gumball machines as a kid. Yeah, it is. It's all about nostalgia. I haven't seen a gumball machine in a long time. There used to be some gumball machines at the front of like big stores around here, but they seem to have just disappeared. I guess today's kids don't care about gumballs. But if I saw one of them today, I probably would buy something from it. I remember seeing them a couple of years ago still. Just put in €1 in, crank it up and get something out of it. Even if it's not a gumball, it would have been one of those collectible things. You know, pop it open and you get the smallest toy ever. Gumballs were always as hard as rock, though. Well, they weren't supposed to be like, you don't bite into them. You let them melt a little bit as they soften up, and then you can go. Unless they were hard candies, of course. There were some jawbreaker ones. That's just gumball machines. They were literal jawbreakers that you need to suck on for a whole day. They have them at the cinema that they spend small Disney toys. Yeah, I've seen those. There aren't any gumball machines in the cinemas here, though. At least I haven't seen any. Because they have their own stores that you can buy candy, popcorn, drinks, and whatever. So they don't need those small gumball machines or even toy machines. You can buy everything from the store itself. But usually it's just drinks and snacks. There aren't any toys or such. In one of the bigger movie theaters in Helsinki, at least, they have like a separate like a gift store that has like figurines from movies and such. Highly priced, but also like super expensive stuff, but also high quality stuff. I've seen some figurines like there were Star Wars stuff and Pirates of the Caribbean stuff and all that. High quality, they looked exactly like the characters from the movies. But they were like super expensive. Like one figurine that was like this tall of Chewbacca was like €200 or something. Freaking expensive. But collectible items anyway. Nerds and geeks would go apeshit for that kind of stuff anyway. You don't like the ones that dispense candy-coated chocolate buttons. You prefer gum or gobstoppers. Yeah, they're much better than, because chocolate, candy-coated chocolate stuff, they get really sticky and just make a whole mess. So it's better to just stick to gumballs and gobstoppers and such. So what else am I missing here? Let's see. So I guess I need to go back to Next clue is that I need to go back to Ern Leech's office. Okay. You're standing in a room with something right now. This room? Do I need to use the wire cutters for these wires? I mean, I do know that I could take a closer look at the wires. Yep. So we got ourselves some wire. Nice. A length of sturdy wire. Alright, we got that. Now let's go to Ernie Leach's office again. Because apparently there was some kind of a note on the table that I could get. Good thing too, that since that's another possible dead end item. Oh great, so soft locking in this game is very possible. If you don't get all the items, huh? Maybe that's why it wasn't letting me go forward into the dark passage, because I don't have all the items yet. Maybe they fixed that in the with the patches and everything, because this is a patched version of the game. I remember when Kinder Eggs used to have awesome toys you could build. These days the toys are all rebuilt to prevent kids swallowing the little parts. Not all of them. Last time I actually got myself a Kinder Egg, it was I needed to do a little assembly. It was only like 5 pieces, but you had to assemble it yourself. So those still exist, Goblin. They still exist. They're just rarer to get, I guess. Otherwise it's just a small figurine or something. Rather you get to a point in the game, need the item, can't get it anymore. That's serious stuff. So yeah, soft lock. Yep. Dead end. That's what soft locking is, isn't it? That if you... or maybe it's a hard lock. A dead end. Oh, Leech is here.
Something I can do for you, Miss Bow?
Hi, Mr. Leech. Can you let me out of this museum? I don't like it in here. People keep dying.
Sorry, Miss Bow, I seem to have lost my door keys.
Oh, I find that very disturbing.
Me too, I can't even let myself out of the building. We're all staying here until I find those keys.
So let's ask him about everything.
If that fella were any more full of himself, he'd rise up and float away like a hot air balloon. The way he carries on, you'd think he discovered Atlantis.
Well, that was Indiana Jones who did that. Well, he will do it in 20 years. Almost.
I don't see the gent too often. We working class folks don't see the big guys too often, you know what I mean? Oh, I guess he's an okay fella for a cop. I do wish he'd stop leaving those grape stems all over the place, though.
Grape stems? So, well, people do like grapes. Let's ask about Ziggy.
Now there's a weaselly little fella. I've heard he's a stool pigeon. That's a dangerous way to make a living.
Damn right about that. Nobody likes snitches. More? Oh yeah, what me little? We could ask about that.
Oh, he's like a nice enough fella. I don't know him too well.
Neither do we, but apparently we're in love with him. Or something. Really, because that's the reason I stopped buying Kinder Eggs, is because I hate those pre-built toys. Yeah, but there are still those kind of toys in there. They're just rare.
The Countess is quite a colorful old dame, isn't she? I can't help liking her.
Well, it's your choice to like her or not.
Dr. Miklos is a strange bird, but she's a decent sort of all the same. I see her a lot at night, working late. Sometimes she invites me in for coffee. She certainly is taken with a plate in my head. She must have looked at the scars a dozen times.
Yeah, she's weird with the scars. Better be careful. She might take a liking to you. Way too much.
Eve Miss Delacroix is a wonderful lady, Miss Bow. A delight to work for.
You should choose your words better.
That fella gives me the willies. He's always hanging around and looking over my shoulder with those suspicious eyeballs of his. Also, to tell you the ugly truth, I just haven't trusted the Germans since the war. That Kaiser guy was a real hi-hat.
You fought in the Great War, Mr. Leech?
Yes, I did, Miss Bo. I came back with a plate in my head and a chest full of medals. And then I couldn't get a job to save my soul.
I'm sorry to hear that.
No, don't let it bother you, Miss Bo. I'm just joking. I'm doing fine now.
Well, you did get a good job at a museum.
He's a quiet little fella. I think he does some accounting for the museum. Seems nice enough.
I wonder if he's the next one we're gonna find dead. Ramesses Najir.
Well, he's an intense sort of gent. He's all bent out of shape about this dagger business, and he hangs around Dr. Carter a lot. He looks ready to blow a blood vessel to me. No, trust me, he has blown quite a few of them already.
How about yourself?
Why, that's me, Miss Bo, Ernie Leech. I thought your reporters were supposed to have good memories.
I was just asking you to tell us about yourself. Ever heard of Watney Little?
No, I can't say I ever met the man.
Apparently they're banned in USA. Yep, they are. Kinder eggs are actually banned in the US. I don't know why, but they are. Probably because of the small toys in there being a choke hazard and Americans being dumb or something. I don't know. I don't remember. There is a big story about it, why they're banned in the US, but I can't remember what the story is. It just feels weird. After hearing about some of the lengths that Earthbound has gone to prevent items being lost or characters going to the wrong places, this practice of soft locking just sounds more like lazy programming than an intended feature. Soft locking is not an intended feature. It's just something that... It's not really lazy programming, it's just making the game more difficult than it should be. Because some people, especially with Sierra, it is mostly the case that you have not found the right item for the right situation, and then you cannot complete the game because you cannot go back to get the said item. You have to restart the whole freaking game or something. Amazing, isn't it? Kinder eggs are illegal, but buying an assault rifle is perfectly okay. Yeah, that's America, but I really hope that they actually start fighting against the gun laws. That actually they will start listening to the freaking citizens that have put these gun laws in shape right now because we don't want to kill each other anymore. But, you know, politicians, money, still rule the world in America. But that's enough politics. So let's see, what could we ask? Let's ask him about the skeleton key, actually.
Mr. Leech, have you ever seen this key before?
No, I can't say I have. It sure is strange.
Do you have any idea what it might open?
No, I don't, but you might ask Dr. Miklos. It looks like something she would appreciate.
Good idea. Good idea, indeed. Let's see. Anything about this carbon paper?
I don't have much use for carbon paper. You might ask that Ramses fella. He's a bean counter. He probably uses it.
Good point. What about this Ankh medallion?
I'm not sure, but I think it's one of those Egyptian symbols. They got a million of them.
Can you tell me about the snake lasso?
What in the world is that? I don't have anything like that in my toolkit.
But it was in your office on the floor. So if it wasn't yours... Was somebody trying to wrangle a snake into Ernie Leech's office and kill him? And we have prevented that?
If so, good. I don't eat much cheese myself. I'm more of a meat and potatoes man. That's actually good food.
Meat and potatoes.
Now, where did you get that, Miss Bo? Maybe you should put that away.
Or maybe I should give it to you?
We use heavy gauge wire to hang our suspended exhibits, as we call them. It's gotta be strong, so none of those prehistoric birds land on some tourist's head.
Well, it didn't land on Ziggy's head.
But Ziggy did lose his head, but that was because of another cause.
Anything in the miscellaneous? Tell me about the burglary. Mr. Leach, do you have any idea who might have taken the Dagger of Amon-Ra?
I sure don't. Well, I halfway wondered if it wasn't one of those Egyptian fellas. They probably think I took it.
Was the dagger well guarded?
Oh sure, it was locked up tighter than a drum. Somebody really pulled a fast one.
I wonder what he was going to say there. It may have been something a little bit sexist. Sterling W.C. Diary.
I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Bo.
Let's see, what else?
Egyptology?
Do you know much about Egyptology, Mr. Leach?
No, Miss Bo, I really don't. I think it's very interesting, though. I picked up a book about it in the museum shop, but I haven't had time to read it yet. I'm sorry, Miss Bo, but I'm kind of busy right now. Is there something I can help you with? If not, I've got work to do.
Did I ask you about the police file? I don't think I did.
Good lord, that fella has a rap sheet a mile long. I hope I never meet up with him.
Okay. Well, we'll be going now. Bye. Tighter than versions hoo-ha, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's exactly what he would have said. Or what he was about to say.
Speaking of soft locks, etc., since you seem to miss half of Olympia's message, you might want to check the VATs. Knowing that the game will repeat that crucial hint ever again. Oh yeah, it was number 13 that she wanted to OReilly to check. This one. You notice several dried streaks of liquid on the outside of the bed, up near the top. That's what she wanted OReilly to check. Pepper steak and baked potatoes. I love me some pepper steak. Don't tell me we're gonna find a corpse in here. Oh.
Could it be?
Yes! It's heavy! It's shiny! It's real gold!
It's got a sharp point at one end. It's
Monty Python, Dagger of Amon-Ra!
Not that kind of a surprise.
But I think the music went a little bit overboard. You pick it up and place it in your purse. Well, at least it's pretty well disinfected. Boy, the alcohol fumes sure are strong in here.
Maybe we shouldn't say too much around it because maybe if we just get I'll be right back in a few seconds.
Well, since we now have the Dagger of Amon-Ra itself, I think that's a good... It's the infamous, wonderful, not to mention stunning, gold Dagger of Amon-Ra.